So today morning we are going to have presentation on FOSSEE project, free and open source software. This is an initiative which is being funded by MHRD for several years in IIT Bombay, spearheaded by my colleague Professor Kannan Moudgalya. Professor Kannan Moudgalya did his BTech in chemical engineering from IIT Madras and proceeded to do his double masters in chemical and electrical engineering from Rice University and followed by a PhD in Rice University. After a brief stint at Georgia Tech as a postdoctoral fellow, he joined IIT Bombay at Lehigh University. He joined IIT Bombay in 88. So he has been working mostly in the area of digital control, process control, advanced control systems. Recently, over the last 10 to 15 years, his other passion is bridging the digital divide. So he has been working on multiple projects which are quite successful in spreading awareness about digital technologies. One is Spoken Tutorial. The other project that he has been spearheading is FOSSEE, about which he'll be talking today. In fact, the Moodle that all of you are using is major funding comes from FOSSEE. We have only given some small part by making a server available for all the TechWip faculty. Entire development team which is working on Moodle, making it available to you, is a FOSSEE team. But Moodle just forms one small, as you will see that forms one small segment of the FOSSEE ecosystem. It presents a wide variety of software tools, digital tools that can be used very, very effectively to make a very rich active learning experience for the students. So this is going to be divided into two parts. Initially, Professor Kannan will give a 1.5 hour lecture on different or interaction session on different facets of FOSSEE. And then there are some specific things that we think would be useful for you, like Python, Open Modelica, and what is the third thing, Kannan? Scilab, XCOS, electronic circuit design. So 3 or 4 softwares, his team members are going to make short presentations so that you know a little more about those softwares. Okay. So with this brief introduction, I hand over to Professor Kannan.
So as Professor Sachin Patwardhan already mentioned, I'm going to talk to you about the methods that we have developed at IIT Bombay to spread education. It will become clear as we go along. I've called it as FLOSS. It will become clear what is meant by FLOSS. Our motive for this work was employment. And you know that we are a young country, lots of young people, lots of students, but there are problems. Education quality, finding good teachers, providing jobs is a serious problem for our students. When we started the work, we said that can we make IT available to students in a big scale so as to improve the employment potential, so as to give jobs to our students. This is important because here is a study conducted by a company. 36,000 IT CS students were asked to write a program. It's a programming exam. They are not chemical engineers, they are not electrical engineers, they are not chemistry students, they are not arts students. Computer science IT students in their 3rd and 4th year were asked to write this. 36,000 students from 500 colleges, and 95% could not write a program that worked. So as a result, our students don't get jobs. So it is not that there are no jobs, there are jobs for qualified people. So this made our project even more important, right? So I'm going to explain to you with a solution that we arrived at called Spoken Tutorial. Spoken Tutorial is a 10-minute long audio video tutorial created using screencast to teach open source software. Why only open source software? I'll explain shortly. For employment. We are not teaching theory of relativity. We are not teaching fluid mechanics. We are not teaching, it's a very focused IT training for jobs. That's how we are starting, okay? Of course, we expanded a little more later. So I asked this question, because many of our students don't have good teachers, can we help them learn by themselves if they want? How many people get to go to good schools, good colleges? Only about 5%, 10%. What about the remaining? So we said that let's address all of them. Can they learn by themselves? So that even if they don't have access to good teachers, they don't go to good schools, good colleges, they can still learn. For IT, for employment, okay? So we started with this design. How do we build self-learning tutorials? Tutorials, video tutorials, guaranteed for self-learning, okay? After going through this process, you will realize that nobody else does this. We are the only ones who do this, okay? Like movies require a script, our video tutorials are of 10-minute duration. They also need a script. They are not created extempore. I am talking to you extempore. Whatever that comes to me, I am talking. But our spoken tutorials, our video tutorials are scripted. Write the script. Then we ask this question, can a beginner understand it? That's easy to, we have lots of beginners. We have lots of people who don't know. We give the script to somebody and say, see if you can reproduce. Using the script. Script means what? Line after line written. Ask them to reproduce whatever this person says with this. Most of the time it doesn't work because the script writer is an expert. Often he will say, what a stupid question, don't you know this? So I tell them, this is for stupids. Please explain. Please explain everything. Okay? So typically what happens is, the answer is no. So what do? Improve the script. In fact, this goes round and round many times. My very first tutorial, spoken tutorial, when it was created, I made the person do 30 times. She recorded, of course, it was not at the script writing stage. She would record it. And then I'll come back and say, no, can you please improve it? Can you please improve it? She, of course, never once complained. But now we have that person leading this program. She leads a team of 35 people. Okay, number one. But there was a lot of learning. So here also, typically, I would say the average effort required in creating a spoken tutorial is about 10 times recording a live lecture. Okay, so I would say that spoken tutorial creation involves about 10 times the work compared to NPTEL lectures, for example. Because of this, that every line has to be understandable, every line, every word, okay. Finally, yes, the beginner can understand, so then we take that script, then we record it, then we do pilot training, we do lots of other things and so on.
Welcome to the spoken tutorial on embedding mathematics in TeXtfig.
So that is the sample spoken tutorial. The next question we asked, what if the learners are not fluent in English? We said let's dub it into all 22 languages.
C++ में कंस्ट्रक्टर्स और डिस्ट्रक्टर्स के स्पोकन ट्यूटोरियल में आपका स्वागत है। इस ट्यूटोरियल में हम निम्न सीखेंगे कंस्ट्रक्टर्स के प्रकार, डिस्ट्रक्टर्स। हम कुछ उदाहरणों की मदद स्पोकन ट्युटोरियलच्या क्रिएटिंग बेसिक कंटेंट वरील पाठात आपले स्वागत. फ्लो शीटिंग அறிமுகம் குறித்த ஸ்போக்கன் ट्युटोरियलக்கு நல்வரவு.
जावा इत्यस्मिन् अङ्कगणितीयप्रक्रियायाः पाठं प्रति स्वागतम्. अस्मिन् पाठे वयं विविधाः अङ्कगणितप्रक्रियाः अभ्यस्यामः.
So, if I can dub it in Sanskrit, I can dub it in any language, right? So, video is in English, only the spoken part is dubbed. So, we dub in all 22 languages. So, we dub in Sanskrit. It is one of our 22 languages, right? It also happens to be the second official language of Uttarakhand. So we have more than 1000 tutorials in English, we have 10,000 tutorials including dubbing. I don't know whether I have any overseas tutorials, let me see. The languages that we already have will be helpful for the learners in nearby countries also without any additional expense. Bengali for example, we have 700 tutorials dubbed into Bengali. So they can be used immediately in Bangladesh and so on. Nepali is one of our languages.
Bienvenido al tutorial hablando del LibreOffice Writer.
We have about 150 dubbed in Persian. Teachers from Afghanistan are using it. Next problem. So we have addressed two problems. One is self-learning, lack of teachers. Second one, lack of knowledge, lack of English, fluency. The third one we worked on was access to internet. If 30 people in a classroom, in a lab, start streaming videos, what will happen to the Wi-Fi? Have you tried it? Speed will stop. Speed will come to a grinding halt. It happens in IIT. We tried to do it for 100 people, it just crashed. And they said, I thought that IIT is a great place. We have lots of big pipe. They said we have big pipe to the building. So you try to split them into smaller classes in different rooms. But then there is only one teacher. How to split the teacher? So there is a problem. Okay. So in fact we conducted a workshop in this very room. I have a slide on that. Can we access spoken tutorials even if internet is not available? We made an offline application. So we made an offline application. So you can go there and say you can open a shopping cart. Looks like a shopping cart. You can say that I want C programming in English, Hindi, Gujarati. And then bash shell script programming only in Marathi. So every time it will say file size is this, file size is this. Then you say, okay, download it. It will create a zip file, download it. The downloaded file could be very large. Okay. I have downloaded something for Gujarati. Let me show that to you. Once you download the zip file, unzip it, it will give you these files. So then you have to open this file called index.html, right? Typically you will of course double click it, open it, and then it opens like this. Let me maximize this. Okay. And look at the URL. What is the first word? Can you read it? It says file. It is not from HTTP or HTTPS. It comes from file. Look at the file name there. What does it say? Index.html. That's the file I opened. That's the file I opened. So it opens from the file system, it opens that file. So the entire thing has been packaged and given. So it works even without internet because it opens from file, right? So let me, here also you have to, only things that you downloaded will be there. I downloaded LibreOffice Calc, which is like Excel, LibreOffice Suites Writer, which is like Word. Let me choose one of them. I downloaded only Gujarati for some specific training. I submitted, I got only those files now. Previously all files were present. Okay. Now I have got this. Say supposing I choose this.
LibreOffice રાઇટરમાં ઇમેજો દાખલ કરવાના મૌખિક ટ્યુટોરિયલમાં સ્વાગત છે. આ ટ્યુટોરિયલમાં આપણે શીખીશું ડોક્યુમેન્ટ.
Now I am going to show you the speed that we get because of this, because it is reading from the local file system. I want you to see the speed. I am also going to rewind. Normally when you rewind, it will start buffering because it has to clear the thing and then you see the speed.
ઇમેજ ફાઇલ દાખલ કરી ઇમેજ દાખલ થઈ છે. રૂપે કોઈ પણ જાણકારી લખી શકશો. તમે જુઓ સ્ક્રીન પર દેખાતા મેનુમાં ત્રીજી પંક્તિમાં પ્રથમ પંક્તિ અને પ્રથમ સ્તંભના નામ રેઝ્યુમ ટેબલ તરીકે આપ.
So it is instantaneous. It's instantaneous whether you go forward, rewind, doesn't matter. Okay. And it comes from the file system, doesn't require internet. Of course to download it you download it, you can download it over a period of 2 nights, it doesn't matter, and you have the zip file. Unzip it, copy that folder into every machine, then you are set. Our usage went up 100 times. Our usage went up 100 times because of internet. Okay, of course people always say, oh we have lots of internet, we have no problem, we have no problem, and so on and so forth. But when it comes to actual doing, you will realize there is a problem, but it was reflected in this. In this very room we did this workshop, this very room. Okay, of course the hall was full, half of them were ladies, they were all college teachers from Mumbai. We conducted a workshop on LaTeX. This was taken during the, I think, LaTeX workshop, which is a word processing typesetting program, and they all have laptop, and this particular hall is designed in a particular way. Can you see, you have been here for 4 days. Is there anything special about this hall? What do you think? Something you have not seen before. Everybody has a plug point, you have your own plug point, right? Otherwise with 200 people running the cables is a major problem, right? You can see the plug point here, right? It's the same hall where we did this workshop, okay? I can't imagine doing this workshop without an offline application. Okay, not only in India, we could do this workshop in Mandalay, Myanmar, in Burma. In Burma, they have no power also, no electricity, no internet. But laptops were already charged, spoken tutorials were already copied, software being open source already installed. They come and learn one tutorial after another by themselves with a headphone, okay. By the way, they don't use desktop computers, they have only laptops because there is no reliable power supply. To summarize, spoken tutorial is a 10-minute long audio video tutorial created for self-learning, audio dubbed into 22 plus languages, downloadable for offline use. They are released under CC BY SA Creative Commons Attribution Share Alike license. So you can download and use them yourself. You don't even have to log in. You don't have to register. We don't want to know who you are. Come and take it. Both are policy decisions. That we will, in fact, there is another policy decision that we will promote only open source software. Because that software can also be downloaded and learned side by side. Because if I promote a commercial software, I am forcing you to buy that, right? But I don't want to do that. I don't want you to pay, just buy and download and use. So the method that we recommend is what is known as side-by-side method. On how do you do that? Well, you can actually have lots of things on a screen. Look at my screen. You know, lots of things. So here I am saying only 2 things. Only 2 things. Have a video and open source, right? It's not required to have only one thing on the screen. You can show a lot of things. Have the video on one side, software on the other side. Listen to the video, pause the command, try it out. If it works, go to the next command. If not, rewind, listen to it again and try. It will always work because it is created for self-learning. And this raises the self-confidence of students because they say, hey, I can do it myself. It's not rocket science. I've done it myself. Nobody taught me. No doubt I listen to the video, I listen to the spoken tutorial and try it. By the way, I call it spoken tutorial, not a video tutorial, because you don't see my face, right? Only my spoken thing is coming. Of course, spoken word is extremely important in our project. We dub into all 22 languages. There was another reason why we called it spoken tutorial, because when we created this, started creating this in the year 2008, there were many silent videos in YouTube. In those days, there were many silent videos. So I wanted to distinguish ours, that ours is spoken, that there will be a running commentary for every tutorial. So we called it spoken tutorial. So are the design decisions useful? By the way, so we designed our method. We designed our method, including the script design and so on, right? So are the design decisions useful? We trained 50 lakh students. We train about 10 lakh students every year. We train 10 lakh students every year across the country, okay? We have 100 universities with 4,000 affiliating colleges officially use spoken tutorials. It is possible for you, for example, we in fact came up with something called a mapping. So for example, there is a course, there is a college that has Java lab. Java we have about 35 tutorials, C we have about 20 tutorials and so on, various topics are there. I'll show you a list of those. Okay, what are those? We have introductory topics, introduction to computers, Firefox, Gmail, typing, 10-finger typing for example, document writing, spreadsheets, presentations through LibreOffice, alternative to MS Office, C, Java, Python, Linux, Drupal, Django, Perl, Ruby, GeoGebra, Scilab or OpenModelica. We'll explain in a little more detail shortly. Physics, chemistry, software for schools, even accounting software. So we have spoken tutorials on all of them. All are open source software. All of them can be learnt side by side, right? And then of course we have Scilab, OpenFOAM, OpenModelica, DWSim. Some of these things will be demonstrated shortly for you. Graphic artists, Blender is an amazing software. Spider-Man 2, parts of Spider-Man 2 was made using Blender. It's an amazing software, okay, open source software. We have 75 different courses and growing, increasing, okay. So we created all this, then we, so many people are, using it. Then MHRD said, if you are using, if it is so popular, if it is so useful, can you raise some money yourself? Okay, why do you expect the government to pay all the salaries, all the expenses? So we came up with a paid model. So this was the question asked by MHRD. So as suggested by MHRD, we came up with this. So we came up with a college level payment model. We came up with an annual subscription for a college as rupees 25,000. What does it enable? Now remember, I already told you can download, no login required. Yes, you can download, you can use it. Here I am talking about certificates. Here I am talking about tests and certificate. If you don't want certificates, if you don't want tests, no problem. You don't have to pay a single paisa. Download. I don't even want to know who you are. But if you want a test, if you want your students to write a test and get certificates, then this paid model. Once a college pays, it doesn't matter how many students are there and how many certificates they want to test, they want to appear in. Okay, it's all paid for. Okay. The only requirement is they should pass the online test. They should pass the test. Okay. And the test is administered in your college. Your college is, you don't have to go anywhere, and one of you will have to invigilate, and your name will appear on the test, on the certificate, saying that such and such person invigilated. That will come on that certificate. Our target was to get 400 colleges in the first year. We got 530 colleges and 40 schools in 6 months. Okay. We are close to getting 800 colleges in 1 year. For example, Telangana government said 100 colleges. The moment Telangana government said 100 colleges, Andhra Pradesh also said 100 colleges. So we have healthy competition, and it's going well. I could hear many people here talking in Telugu. So I see that many people have come from Telangana and Andhra Pradesh. So we are happy to have you all. This indicates the confidence in our method. We are also trying to see whether this will result in increased usage. How is it? Previously, when it was free, even the test was given free, some 20% of the learners used to appear in the online test. Only 20%. Okay. Now every college is saying we are paying, let's better recover. Okay. Vasool karna hai. So they say, please, prepare and appear in more tests, get more certificates. So we are hoping that this will result in even as large as 1,000 certificates in a college, which is not too difficult. 250 students taking 4 certificates, getting 4 certificates in a year. 1,000 certificates, 25,000 rupees. So it is not too much. But on the other hand, if 250 students are going to appear in 4 tests, they are going to prepare them. Okay. And they don't have to mug up. They do active learning, because they have to reproduce every command. They have to reproduce every command. What is our method? Side by side method. Open the video on one side, open the software on the other side, listen to a command, pause it, try it. If it works, go to the next command. If not, rewind, listen to it, try again. So there is no lecturing. There is no lecturing. The students learn by themselves, and they learn by doing. So if I say I want to talk about function in a C program, at the end of the tutorial they will know how to write a function. May not be a massive one, may not be a fancy one, but they will know how to write a function. So it is active learning. You understand? So I believe we are actually trying now, aiming for 100% usage. We are telling all students should appear in online test. That's what our team is going after them, every college. Why not encourage all of them? So we went for another model. So this is one paid model for students. Then we went for a model for teachers. We went for large scale teacher training. We have about 550 remote centers. IIT Bombay has 550 remote centers. Out of these, about 100 to 200 volunteer and say that we want to offer this workshop for teachers in nearby areas, nearby cities. They go to, so it's a one-day workshop. It starts at 9:30 in the morning. At 9:30 we connect with all the remote centers through a software called AView, and then we have about 1 hour of interactive session. First half an hour we explain how the workshop will be conducted. Next half an hour we have a brief interaction because people may have questions on how the workshop is conducted. Then for 4 hours the learning happens through spoken tutorials. 4 hours. Now if you have questions in the workshop, if you have, supposing you say that I am going through a spoken tutorial on let's say Scilab, okay, in Scilab script writing, okay, supposing that is the thing, and you have a question. So we have devised a special forum. So you have to say, I have a question in Scilab in the video script writing at 3 minutes 40 seconds. So you can specify the minute, you can specify the second after choosing the exact video and ask your question. Ask your question. Then what happens is somebody will answer. The moment it is answered, that answer will be helpful to any teacher anywhere in the 100 centers because it's online. Mind you, for this you need online, you need Wi-Fi. But then you need Wi-Fi for only textual transmission, which is not much, which doesn't require much bandwidth. Videos will happen through locally installed files, but this forum discussion will happen through internet. So if you don't have internet, then this facility is not available in that center. But these centers are typically good centers because they have 3 Mbps connection, because they receive our video, also live video. So they have reasonable things. As a matter of fact, most people said that they could ask questions through their mobile phone. You can ask the question through your mobile phone. Most of you have 4G. That's what I have written. Answer questions through the forum. Okay. In addition, it's a paid program. Teachers have to pay 500 rupees. It is not free. Okay. They also have to pay for their travel and accommodation. Lots of teachers underwent. We did a Koha workshop first. It's a library automation software. 2,500 people got trained in 104 centers. We repeated that, another 1,000 people. Now these are all librarians, Koha. But then we did a Moodle training, 4,359. Out of this, there were 109 Kendriya Vidyalaya teachers. Even school teachers came for Moodle workshop because they also wanted to learn Moodle. Then we did a Scilab workshop. The next workshop is going to be on Python on 22nd of June. That's why I said 22nd of June. We are going to have also participants from Afghanistan and Bangladesh for this workshop. So it is very popular because so many people pay their own money to go and attend. Okay, we have lots of feedback. I can show you one coordinator's workshop. In fact, I'll play that for you. This is where the Scilab workshop happened across the country. Now let me show you one video. I'm really happy that you could spare your valuable time to come here and to be with us. My name is Kannan Moudgalya. I'm a professor here and I'm happy to be coordinating this effort. First, I'm going to invite Professor Patel.
When you people conduct this workshop on 15th of March, this is the message that you will be giving to all the participants who will be coming from various places. You may already know some of them have already used or similar things. But the fact of life is that education and education management has to have very significant IT components which can help you conduct the educational process more effectively and efficiently.
So it's a great resource. What is important for you to learn how to learn? Because the moment you know how to learn, you can easily transmit this technology to your colleagues and to your students. I want to thank you for having come forward with your own money to be with us. Okay? And together we can do a lot of things. learned something? Yes. So you're going to help us conduct this workshop on 15th March? Yes. Do you have any comments? Anything to say?
Spoken tutorial, in fact, is so very streamlined process wherein you hardly need a coach to be around. They allow you to immerse into your own knowledge world.
Actually, this is the good practice and this is something innovative practice because from this method we are learning step by step and there is an option that we can come back and we can restart this stuff so that by the multiple practices, by the multiple times, we will be getting perfections in the activities.
The spoken tutorial which are created or which are right now I'm listening towards a Moodle are actually the perfect videos, and just by listening each and every word will get an complete understanding what exactly there or what the person wants to give, which kind of knowledge they want to share with us.
Sometimes I'm getting a doubt, is it the teacher is there or not? Because I didn't find much difference, because whenever I need pause, I can listen it again. I'm not getting any difficulty even though I'm listening in the online.
So far I have not found any kind of the difficulties. Even I have not found that any teachers or any guide should be there to understand the basic of the spoken tutorial. So really appreciable and a great exposure for team of spoken tutorial who have developed this such as wonderful tutorials, and it is from scratch. So those who don't know anything about it, Moodle or anything, they can just watch, listen the steps, follow the steps, and they can learn the Moodle. I would just like to share that try to use Moodle as much as possible. With the spoken tutorial, they can learn with their own space, that definitely with their own speed, even doing it parallelly, so pausing the video and doing it side by side. Definitely push students to work hard and definitely give them a breathing space.
There are a lot of instructors and there are various coordinators who are assisting, but then we are on our own, we are learning at our own pace. That's the beauty of this Moodle software, I suppose.
I'm very much thankful for again IIT Bombay and MICT. I'm also thankful to Pandit Madan Mohan Malviya National Mission on Teachers and Teaching for providing this opportunity to all of the faculties and all of the students. Thank you so much.
What I think we should do is, we should conclude this with a national anthem. That was a coordinator workshop. There were 2 people from each center. You would have seen one for system administrators, another one for teachers. System administrators learned to install Moodle, and the teachers learned to use Moodle once it is installed. So we had 2 workshops going in parallel. Next, I am going to show you one more application. Remember, I started saying that only IT. We are not teaching fluid mechanics. We are not teaching theory of relativity. It is IT, it is for jobs. Then we realized that we can actually teach any skill using this. Theoretical concept, theoretical topics versus skills based topic. So we said we can extend this spoken tutorial methodology to other skills, IT skills being one of them. Then we said, why don't we try another thing? So we applied it to breastfeeding, nutrition. So I have a doctor friend who believes that exclusive breastfeeding will result in malnutrition problem. We have a serious problem in India. I don't know if you know that. Of all the countries in the world, the country that has the maximum malnutrition, number 1 is India. Okay, I don't know whether we should be proud of that. She believes that if only we switch to exclusive breastfeeding, it will just solve that problem. Okay? And she used to train about 1,000 health workers every year through 10 contact programs. 10 contact programs, maybe one a month, 1,000 people trained. So I told her, with spoken tutorial, we'll help you reach out to 100,000 health workers a year, 100 times. Okay. So here is, you can see Rupal Dalal, she's sitting here. Now she doesn't have to, she can just sit and then people listen to the spoken tutorial. Okay, they are all watching a spoken tutorial. You see a lot of health workers And even fathers, even the males have to watch, because this is an important thing, because they have to support their wives, they have to support the ladies at home. We helped another organization, Global Health Videos, and then we dubbed it into Hindi. It received more than 2 million views. In fact, maybe now 3 million views. It's very popular, very useful. Why it is important? Let me just point out. You know that the brains of newborns are formed within the first 9 months, and mother's milk is extremely important, right? Nothing can replace that. But a mother goes to a doctor and says, look, I am unable to feed, there is no milk and the baby is starving. So the doctor says, okay, here is powder milk, okay. The doctor doesn't have time, because he has 100 patients. He doesn't have time to go and find out, if you do this, you will definitely be able to give milk. It costs 5,000 rupees to give powder milk to formula milk to a baby for first 6 months. If that 5,000 rupee is available, that mother herself would have eaten and fed the baby in most poor families. Finally, you need clean drinking water to create formula milk, and which we lack. So, from various angles, this is an important thing. We have very successful results applying this, okay. So, this is an example of our spoken tutorial method going beyond IT skills. I believe that IT skills are the tip of the iceberg. You can actually extend it to several other methods. I want to give a demo of our laptop, okay. I was a co-PA of the Akash project. We introduced a 7,500 rupee ARM processor based laptop. Through extensive studies we validated it. Then we introduced a better system at 10,000 rupees, and 1,800 units were paid for. Actually people bought with their own money without any government system. Here it is. Let me see if I can connect this. We organize the software like this. College level software. In that you have things like programming environment. So you have Python, Jupyter, Spider, all kinds of things. We have something called MATLAB like software. It has Octave, R, Scilab, chemical process simulation, electronic circuit design. Somebody will give a demo of it shortly on eSIM. See the first one on the right hand side, eSIM. It has GIS, hardware interfacing, mechanical engineering design. Open Modelica will give a demo of that. On terminals you have all the programs, whether you want C program, you have Fortran, you have Python, Java, Pyoma, Perl, Ruby, everything you have. This is college level. Then we have school level software, beginner level programming. This is for schools, maths, physics, chemistry, documentation, fun software, office and so on. So it's so you can actually use it for giving talks. I have created spoken tutorials using this machine, on this machine, okay. It's a nice machine. Okay, here is the screenshot of the laptop. So I have finished the first part of my talk. I'm going to, I have another about half an hour in which I'm going to spend some time on some specialized software that will be useful to you in your college. You can start using it, using the method that I have indicated, because we have spoken tutorials on every one of them, whatever I'm going to talk about. What is the advantage of spoken tutorial over NPTEL? Actually these are two different things. These are two different things. You want to learn C programming. You want to learn C programming. One second, let me just these are actually like comparing apples and oranges, right? I don't have a course on fluid mechanics. NPTEL has. NPTEL doesn't have a step-by-step method to learn C programming. I have. Spoken tutorials. These are two different things, completely different things. Yeah. Any other question? Okay. So let's go on to the next topic. Once again, let's start with this. I mean, this is the one that has been bothering me, that our students don't know how to write a program that works. Okay. Here I am going to explain why we are promoting this open source software. I call it FLOSS. See the FLOSS, FLOSS. This liber is added because this free, does it mean freedom or free of cost? Is it muft or is it mukt? Is it mukt or is it muft? Okay. So here free denotes freedom. You have the freedom to copy, you have the freedom to go through it, share it, modify it and distribute it. So you have all these freedoms available in the software that we are talking about. So we call it FLOSS. Previously we used to call it FOSS. Then there was a confusion, what did this F stand for? So we added this L to say that we are talking about freedom, okay, except in the case of open source software, except in the case of FLOSS, which you don't have to pay. All other things you have to pay, right? So I believe that, I argue that there is no alternative to FLOSS. Why FLOSS? It's free of cost, it's affordable to industry, in fact it is free of cost. It also allows learners to become better programmers. Supposing you are a car mechanic, I give you a car and say, work on it but you should not open the hood. Should not open the hood. How will you repair it? An auto mechanic is somebody who will open it, remove the carburetor, put a bigger tire, wider tire, do hot rodding, right? Go fast, all kinds of things, right? You would want him to have access to all that. Our IT people should do that. Our CS people should do that. They should go through it. So it allows good learning. Remember the side-by-side method I talked about previously. I am saying download the software and practice side by side. How will you practice if it is not open source? How can I say million people? Can I say million people buy AutoCAD? Can I say million people buy MATLAB? We can't even say million people buy Office because it's expensive, right? So in our method, download that software, it's available on the internet, Spoken Tutorial tells where to download it from and learn side by side, not possible with commercial software. It doesn't mean that I have anything against open proprietary software, please use it, but use it when required. Supposing you say, I have a paper to submit 2 weeks from now, I need this MATLAB toolbox, please use it, please use it. But because of that, don't say that you will use that same MATLAB in your class to teach for fast Fourier transform, not required. Don't corrupt so many students by using MATLAB, they don't need it. If they need the toolbox for a paper, let them use it, it's okay. How many people write papers? Why should they learn MATLAB to do a 3D plot or to solve a differential equation? They don't need that, okay. So we promote FLOSS in a big way. Now I am going to explain some of the things that were done by students across the country, possibly your own students or maybe the students from colleges where you studied before, okay. So we said that the problem with open source software, we said we will promote FLOSS, but then people don't know how to use, because commercial software has very nice brochures and courses in a 5-star hotel and so on and so forth, but there is nothing for open source software, there is nothing for FLOSS. So we said we will create documentation. As a matter of fact, Spoken Tutorials started as a documentation project, but it became a training project, big training program. But we started one more. We said, can students write documents? Can student writes documents? Now that's an oxymoron, because students don't like documentation, they hate documentation. They don't mind writing a program that works, but asking them even to comment, they don't want to do, okay. Using that comment to understand, it's even more difficult, right. But we have lots of students, we have 1 million students enrolling in engineering every year. Can we use students? So we solved it, we addressed this problem by solving the inverse problem. What is the inverse problem? Ask the students to write code for existing documents, right. They will not write documents, but go to existing documents, ask them to write code. I am going to explain it for Scilab, what we did. In fact, let me just show that and then come back why I'm saying a lot of good things about Scilab. So let me just give the demo of this using this. Remember I talked about students creating documentation. So we said, what are the documents for students? Textbooks are even better. Project report is something written by somebody. Textbook means, imagine, look at a book like Procus, right? Great book, written by some of the best people over many years. They take a lot of care in making sure that there are no mistakes. So you have examples, solved examples. What if we write code for solved example? Solved example. If they do it for a whole book, Procus, that collection of code is called a textbook companion, Scilab textbook. If they do it in Scilab, then it becomes Scilab textbook companion. Scilab textbook companion for the DSP book by Procus. So what we did was, we said a student has to learn Scilab through spoken tutorial. So anybody in the class, you are teaching a course, the best student in the course can participate in that, because he is familiar with that book, he or she is familiar with that book. They have to learn Scilab. For every solved example, write the Scilab code. Run the code, it should give the same answer as in the book. You can verify it step by step. What we did was, we paid a honorarium of 12,000 rupees to these students. Okay. Now we have 600 students, 600 books completed. In fact, I will show you. So we have this textbook companion project. Underneath you have something called completed books, 604 now. Okay. Should I make it bigger or can you read? So all the 604 books are there. Okay. Remember I talked about Procus. Procus, there it is, 126th book. If I click this, I get this. It's written by contributor Professor Senthil Kumar of the Institute of Road and Transport Technology, right? You can download the code if you want. You can also download the PDF. Let me download the PDF and show you what it looks like. Now this is, you can see it is 94 pages long. It has Scilab code for every example. So for example, if I say example 2.1.09 exponential decreasing signal, 2.1.09 exponential decreasing signal. Okay. Exponential signal, even signal. So every one of them, there is code. It is code after code after code. Remember I told that students cannot write document. So we tell the students no documentation, no comments. Don't reproduce anything from the book, so that I don't get into copyright problem. So nothing in the book is reproduced from the book except this answer. They do it, the answer will be the same. Okay. So there are no issues about this. Okay. Basically, if you go to cloud.scilab.in, make a note of it, cloud.scilab.in, and try it after maybe a few days. And there you will be able to say, this is the way the sequence works. You will have to say, what is the subject? I will say electrical engineering. Then supposing I want to run a control book, that's the example I usually give, BC Co. So what do? I say electrical engineering. Then I will choose the subtopic as control. Then I will choose it will show all the books, some 15 books. I will say BC Co. Then it will say which chapter. I will choose chapter 9, frequency domain analysis. Then I will choose example 15, body plot. The moment I choose that, it will show the code, I can run it. Of course, you have seen the code, what it looks like, right? You have seen the code. You can of course copy paste this into Scilab. Copy paste this into Scilab and then run it. We give the code also. For example, you can download this. If you download this, it will download the code in a directory structure. It will say this is the book, it has chapter 1, 2, 3, each chapter is a separate directory, and in that you have examples 1, 2, 3, whatever. Now I am going to show you how this resource is useful for you to set examples, to set problems for your, your labs, exams and so on, very useful. I was teaching a control course, and the very first quiz I wanted to set a question on partial fraction expansion. Partial fraction expansion, actually I wanted to solve before giving it in the exam. Partial fraction expansion. And I don't have MATLAB, I only have Scilab. So I didn't remember the command and I didn't remember the syntax, right? Like I'm getting old, right? So I'm it's okay for me to forget the command. So what I did was, how did I find the command? So I did a Google search, right? I said Scilab partial fraction expansion. So when I did a search, it said, I found out the command is called PFSS. Then what I did was, and there is a search under TBC code. Remember, we have done it for 600 books. If each book has 100 examples, then we will have 60,000 examples coded. It turns out that we actually have 75,000 examples. So let us search amongst the 75,000 examples PFSS. It found 140 results. 140 results. Then I browse through it. It gives you, for example, Haidt's book, where it is done. Okay. If you view this example, it will open on the cloud. Our cloud is down. I cannot do the demonstration. You can open the cloud, you can run it, you can even modify, because when it presents, it gives an editor. You can actually modify the values, rerun it until you are happy and then give it. So in this particular case, I saw it on the cloud and I used it as it is without any change. Okay, it worked fine. So you want to look at any other book? Anybody wants to try textbook companion project? Completed books. Anybody wants to try any other book? I want to show you. You can check whether your book is available. What subject? You can what category? No, computer science. It is Scilab is not useful. For algorithms, please go to Python. Okay. Engineering, where you have to do numerical computing. Circuit theory. So shall we choose? Which one is it? Electrical engineering. So let me choose electrical engineering. Subcategory, we have all these topics. Which topic do you want? If you don't choose anything, I'll choose control systems. You can download the code, you can download the PDF, you can work with that. We have 75,000 examples coded, okay. So you can actually use it in your class. You have the code, you can modify it. You can say, what if the friction factor is 10 times? Change the number and run it, right. What if the bandwidth is different? Run it, right. 75,000 examples coded. Is it available in MATLAB? In fact, I say that Scilab is better than MATLAB for this very reason. And Scilab comes pre-installed on our 10,000 rupee machine also. So there are lots of nice things about Scilab. This I want to point out why it is important. Remember, whenever, in fact, GSAT 16 was launched by Ariane. In fact, if I click this, it will show me that India's communication satellite GSAT 16 launched successfully in 2014, and it says that Ariane, see this, 5. Ariane was, and this, Ariane is a product of CNES like our ISRO, and they use Scilab extensively. In fact, I have the talk by T. Martin of CNES. In fact, I will show this to you. Okay, this is T. Martin of CNES. CNES is like our ISRO, which launches Ariane rockets, which placed our GSAT satellite. Now he says Scilab is widely used in CNES, telecommunication, RF analysis, navigation, attitude control systems, ... Okay, and he went on talking about Scilab. At the end of it, Scilab is widely used within CNES flight dynamics departments. So in fact, I was the session chairman in this talk. In fact, I was the keynote speaker. They invited me, they paid me airfare to fly Air France, which was twice as expensive as any other airline. And so if they can launch Ariane rockets calculated using Scilab, which placed our GSAT satellite on the orbit, which is probably helping me to connect to internet now, right? Isn't Scilab good enough for your FFT? For your ordinary differential equations, and we have 75,000 examples coded. You don't need anything else. You need something for your paper, keep it separate. Don't teach MATLAB to your students, okay. You see here, on the left hand side, you see this FOSSEE Scilab toolbox. So we are working on various things, optimization toolbox, signal process. By the way, our optimization toolbox is better than MATLAB optimization toolbox, okay, because it has many more functions and it has compiled code we are helping you to migrate your labs to Scilab. You have a lab that is running on MATLAB, we will help you to migrate to Scilab. 80 labs are already migrated. Let me just show you that. Okay, once again it is scilab.in. See this lab migration project, completed labs. There you are. I said 80, actually there are 85 now. So signals and systems. This college has migrated its lab and download PDF of lab solutions. It follows the same pattern. And Python I have already talked about. There is going to be a workshop on Python. R, Open Modelica, there is going to be a demo of it shortly. Open Modelica is, I would claim, to be 100 times more powerful than Simulink. Have you heard of Simulink? But I will claim that it is 100 times more powerful than Simulink, Open Modelica. We will have a demo of it shortly. Okay, the other thing that you may actually want to encourage your students to participate in this, we did the FOSSEE Summer Fellowship 2019.